Hi everyone! So for today's video, I want to just talk about which products that I am the most and least willing to spend a lot of money on. And I thought about this for a little while, so I made a list of the top 5 things that I don't mind spending money on and the bottom 5 things that I hate to spend money on. So I think I'm just going to get into it, and I want to start off by the things that I don't mind spending a lot of money on. So the first thing on my list is eyeshadow primers. I think it is so important to have a good eyeshadow primer for your eyeshadows to stick on, because it'll help even bad eyeshadows stick to your lids a lot better, and it will also stay on for longer. So given that eyeshadows is like my favorite part of makeup, obviously I want my eyeshadows to stay on all day and to look vibrant and look as good as they can. So for me, I don't mind spending money on eyeshadows, and my favorite eyeshadow primer right now is from MAC, and it's the MAC Paint Pot, and I want to say that one is $22. So yeah, it's not like super expensive because that thing lasts forever. So, but I think it's definitely worth the money to splurge on having a good eyeshadow primer. The next thing on my list is foundation. I have found some pretty good foundations from the drugstore, so I don't mind buying cheaper options, but for the most part, I have found that the ones that work the best for me are the higher price ones, unfortunately, and since they have just kind of become my favorite, I tend to not mind splurging as much on my foundations because I know that they're going to look good if I do. And I also like the fact that if I do buy a pretty expensive foundation, especially at Sephora, they have such a good return policy that I can go in and I can get my money back if I don't like it. So that's also always a consideration for me when deciding whether or not I want to spend a lot of money on something. Is there a good chance that I have to return this? Then I probably will be more likely to spend more money on it than if it's something that I can't return. The next thing on my list is concealer. So this goes hand in hand with foundation, really. I haven't really found any concealers at the drugstore that I personally like that really works for me, so I don't mind spending money on concealer because my holy grail of concealer right now is the Tarte Shape tape, and it has been for the past year. I've tried some from the drugstore, I've tried some from different high-end brands, and I keep just falling back on the Tarte Shape tape, and so I see myself just keeping that in my rotation at all times, really, unless I happen to find something that I really like. I know a lot of people like the Colourpop No Filter Concealer, but I tried that one and it creased like crazy on me, so I don't know why this didn't work on me the way it does on other people, but it's not my thing. So I'm just going to stick to higher end concealers. Another thing that I haven't really found at the drugstore that I really like is a liquid liner. The one that I use is from DHC Cosmetics and it's $18, so it's not like super expensive because those things can last me for like 6 months. So that's one thing that I don't mind spending a lot of money on because I use it almost on a daily basis. I have tried some from, I want to say NYX, I've tried one from Wet n Wild, and I've tried a lot of like cheaper ones that are more in the $7–8 range, and they just don't really work for me. I need something that dries down really fast. I like something that I can be really precise with. I like it to be a felt tip liner, so I have, you know, my specific things that I look for in liquid liners, and I just haven't found a cheap one that I like, so I don't mind splurging on liquid liners because it's something that I use so often that I know I'm going to go through, and it doesn't feel like a waste of money to me. And this last thing might surprise some of you guys, but it's lipsticks. Now, here's the thing, like, I don't wear anything that's not a liquid lipstick, so it's really hard to find a really good liquid lipstick formula at the drugstore, in my opinion at least. The best ones that I think I've found are the Maybelline ink ones. I forget the correct name of them, but they are like $10. So even $10 is like pretty expensive for a drugstore lipstick. So if I can spend more up to like $16 to $18 and get something that's even better and that I know I'm going to really love, like, I don't mind doing that if it's a shade that I know I'm going to get a lot of use of. And honestly, even the shade that I have on today, this is the one from Kat Von D. I have 2 of them on. I have a black one and I have the Glimmer Veil on, and I love both of those formulas so much. I think they're amazing. And so lipsticks is also another thing that I don't mind spending a lot of money on. Now, here's where things get interesting, because there's obviously a lot of products, if I'm only going to name 5 in each category, so there's a lot of products that kind of like fall in between, and one of those things that fall in between for me are eyeshadows, because I can kind of go both ways with that. I'm not really gonna get into that because it's not on my list, but if you're wondering why eyeshadows aren't on my list, it's because I like brands that are lower priced, but I also like higher end eyeshadows, so those are just not going to be mentioned today. The one thing that I don't like to spend a lot of money on is, and this is not even a makeup item, but this is brushes, makeup brushes. So I have found so many good makeup brushes that are really inexpensive, and I especially want to just mention Morphe because I have just recently gotten into a lot of Morphe brushes in the past couple of months or so, and every single brush that I've bought from them I really love. Like, I think they are very good quality for the prices, and I might not have washed them as many times as I've washed some of my other brushes, but honestly, even if they break after a few washes, like, they were so cheap that I don't even mind repurchasing them if I have to, because they were just so inexpensive. So makeup brushes, I don't really see the point in spending a lot of money on, except for my foundation brushes. I do have some pretty expensive foundation brushes, but that is because I find that it's hard to find a cheaper alternative for like a good, like, kabuki, like, very packed brush. I've tried a couple and I didn't like them, so right now I'm sticking to my Marc Jacobs The Face Brush, which I really like. I also have one from Hourglass that I absolutely love, so those are my favorite foundation brushes, and I know I'm gonna keep using those forever because they are such good quality that they're not gonna just like fall apart on you. So I feel like those are a good investment, but in general, especially for eyeshadow brushes, I just don't see the point in spending a lot of money on them because so many brands are coming out with like really, really good eyeshadow brushes, and I will actually leave one of my favorite sets down below. This one is from Amazon and it's from a brand called Lamora. It's just like an eye brush set. I think it comes with like 6 or 8 brushes and they're like $13. They're super cheap and they're so good. I've already bought 2 sets because I love them so much and I like to have extras in case the ones that I use are dirty. So brushes are just one thing that I don't like to spend a lot of money on. The next thing on my list is blushes. I don't know why that is because I've tried some higher end blushes and they're honestly just okay. Maybe I've just bought the wrong ones. I do have one that I like from Hourglass, but my favorite all-time blushes are from Morphe or they're from Physicians Formula. I only have one from Physicians Formula, but I really, really like that one. And the other ones that I have that I really like are from Morphe. So I don't know what else to say. Like, at this point, I feel like it's just not really worth spending a lot of money on blushes because I've even tried some from Benefit and I know people rave about those, but I just didn't think they were all that great. So I'm just gonna stick to my low-end blushes and kind of save my money in that regards, because blushes is also one of those things that I'm not gonna go out of my way to get a hold of like a new blush. Like, I just don't really care that much about blushes, so I feel like I have a good collection of blushes now and it's not something that I really crave to add more of to my collection anytime. So if I can just like be happy with the cheap blushes that I have, I'm pretty happy. The next thing that I don't like spending a lot of money on is mascaras. I will say that my favorite mascara of all time is the Bad Gal Bang from Benefit, and I love that mascara so much, but it is in the $20 range, so from now on I will not be purchasing that mascara unless I can pick it up at the sales and kind of stock up, or if there's a special occasion that I want to have like bomb lashes for, then I will probably pick up a tube. But for the time being, I think I'm probably just going to stick to drugstore mascaras because honestly, a lot of them are just as good as the higher end ones. Some of my favorite brands are Covergirl. I like their mascaras because I like the spiky wands. I don't know if you guys like those as much as I do, but those are like my favorite kind of wands to work with because I feel like they really lengthen my lashes and separate my lashes. So those are favorites. And then Lash Paradise from Loreal is probably my all-time favorite mascara right now. So that's the one that I will repurchase, and actually I'm kind of running low of my mascara right now, so I will probably have to run out and buy that soon. So yeah, mascaras is another thing that I just don't like to spend a lot of money on. And the next thing that I don't like to spend a lot of money on is actually colored eyeliners, or just eyeliners in general. This doesn't go for liquid eyeliners, just for like the pencil ones, like these ones that I have here. These are from Colourpop, and I want to say they were $5 each, which is such an amazing price, and I love the formula of these. Like, they stay in my waterline for so long. The one I have on today is the yellow shade called Punch, and I put this in my waterline about 3 hours ago now, and it still looks like I literally just put it on. So I love these liners, and honestly, if I can get liners for $5, like I will never purchase another Urban Decay liner or anything like that ever again. So I will happily spend my money elsewhere and I will stick to very cheap eyeliners. The last thing on my list is actually another lip product, and this is lip glosses. Now, I can't really tell that much of a difference between a drugstore lip gloss and a high-end lip gloss. So this is why I don't like to spend a lot of money on high-end lip glosses. That doesn't mean that I don't have any and that I don't plan on ever picking any high-end lip glosses up, but in general, I am way more likely to go to my Walgreens or CVS and pick up lip gloss there, because I usually only wear lip glosses as toppers anyway. So since I don't really need to wear it on its own, it doesn't matter that much like how opaque the lip gloss is. There are obviously some high-end brands that I really do like and that I will pick up a lip gloss from once in a while. I did just purchase one from Anastasia, one of their new ones, lip toppers, and I really like that one, but I have no problem just going to L'Oreal or any of the drugstore brands and getting my lip glosses there, because honestly, lip glosses I don't wear that much, so it's one of those things where I don't want to spend a lot of money on something that I'm not going to necessarily use up. And I also like to have a variety of lip glosses to top on whatever lipstick it is that I'm wearing. So those are all the things that I don't like to spend money on and that I don't mind spending money on. So if you guys have a channel, I would love it if you guys did this as well, because I think it's so interesting to see which products people are more likely to splurge on versus the ones that you kind of don't really want to buy, so you just end up buying the cheaper alternatives to it. So let me know down below if you have a channel, if you made a video. If not, let me know down below either way which products you like to spend money on and which ones you don't like to spend money on. If you are new to my channel, I hope you would consider subscribing, and hopefully I will see you all in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.